Module 3A, Introduction to Excel, Chapter 1, and Formulas and Functions, Chapter 2. Chapter 1, Entering and Editing Data, Formulas and Cell References, Paste Special, Field Codes in Headers and Footers, and Printing. Most people consider Excel to be a program for number crunching, doing the math. In reality, Excel is a program that enables you to efficiently and effectively communicate. The ability to use spreadsheet software is paramount in the workplace. I'm going to use the grading rubric I created for this assignment as an example. Notice my title, CPS 105 Module 3A Grading Rubric. It makes the purpose of the worksheet abundantly clear. The inputs necessary for me include the point values for each instruction in the assignment. I manually enter these input values. The output I need is the total of the points earned on the assignment. I will need a formula or function in this cell in order to calculate the output. Entering intuitive labels is essential for understanding the worksheet. For clarity, I even indented the requirements of the Matt's Sports Grill table beneath the name of the requirement. Lastly, I've intuitively formatted the worksheet. My title has a simple but distinct format, white font on black background. My subtitle is black on gray, and my total, or calculated value, is black on green. All formatting is high contrast between font and background and very easy to see both on the screen and when printed. Formatting is important because I will come back to this worksheet one semester from now and don't want to have to look things up or struggle to remember what I did or why I did it when creating the worksheet. Formatting is even more important if the worksheet is shared with others. Formulas and functions. The use of cell references is essential. A cell reference is a column letter followed by a row number. A cell reference is what allows you to conduct what-if analysis by changing input values and having Excel instantly cascade the change throughout the worksheet to yield the revised output value. For example, the student in my table lost half a point on the table requirement. If I made a mistake, I can go back and change the input from 1.5 to 2.0 points, and Excel will cascade that change and adjust the student's total and percent. A function automates a mathematical operation. I use the sum function to add the range of numbers. Instead of clicking on a lot of cell references and inserting the plus symbol between each click, best practice is to use the sum function with the range of cells to add as the arguments within the parentheses. A formula is used to do mathematical operations involving cell references. I used a formula to calculate the student's percentage. I used Paste Special to paste the worksheet I've been using as an example. I pasted it in as a graphic object so I could easily resize it or wrap text around it. I encourage you to check out the various ways objects can be pasted, as each has a valuable use. Field codes in headers or footers. Often, a header or footer improves unambiguous, concise communication. Field codes have a great advantage over manually entering values into headers or footers because they are automated values that cascade changes. For example, page number will change according to the changes in the sheet order or the addition or deletion of sheets. Refer to the buttons on the Design tab of the Header Footer tools for inserting field codes. The Sheet tab name is taken directly from the Sheet tab and will change when you change the name on that tab. The Date field code will insert the current date and thus reflect the date the workbook is opened. While you don't need to do any printing, it is essential for you to follow all the print instructions. Module 3A, Chapter 2, Formulas and Functions, Relative versus Absolute Cell References, and Functions. A relative reference changes relative to where it's dragged. Take the total row on my grading rubric, for example. The sum function references column B to total the available points. As the function is dragged by the fill handle, the cell references change column letters, whereas the initial cell referenced column B. When I finally get to student 3, the sum function references column E. These are relative references. An absolute reference never changes when the formula or function is dragged to new locations. Take the percent row on my grading rubric, for example. The formula references column B, the total points available on the assignment, and column C, the total amount of points the student earned. When I drag the formula from student 1 through student 2 to student 3, I want the denominator B13 to stay fixed on the total points available. And I want the cell references to C13, the points the student earned, to change relative to the drag. I will make the reference to cell B13 absolute by pressing the F4 key or by typing a $sign before the column letter and row number. Now, when I drag the formula through the students, only the student's available points in the numerator will change. When I get to student 3, my formula will be equals E13 divided by $B, $13. Experienced Excel users may already be questioning me on the use of an absolute reference on cell B13. That's because I really only need the column to stay fixed because I'm not changing rows when I drag. You are absolutely correct. That's called a mixed reference, when either just the row or column stays fixed. Here's how that would look in my grading rubric. My formula is equals C13 divided by $B13. The $sign indicates that the column will stay fixed, but the row can change. As I drag horizontally across the rows, the reference to the available point stays fixed on column B, and the row does not change during my drag, so it stays fixed on row 13. When I get to student 3, my formula looks like this, equals E13 divided by $B13. Functions. Function syntax is function grammar. It's the correct way to enter and use a function. A function starts with an equal sign because we are telling Excel that we're going to do math. It is followed by the function name, and lastly, the function arguments are separated by commas within parentheses. In the example of the sum function, there's just one argument, a range of cells to be summed. In the example of the today function, there are no arguments, but we must still follow proper function syntax and include the parentheses. In the case of the VLOOKUP function, you can see that the arguments are separated by commas. If and VLOOKUP function details are addressed in separate videos. Reminders. Ask personal questions between you and the instructor in your PDA. Homework questions in the Module 3 Excel discussion forum. 3 substantive posts are required in each module. And the Module 3 quiz will cover chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Excel.